it's easier politically to cut the capital budget rather than deal with recurrent expenditure. That is a challenge. We have advised that we are going to reach a point where we cannot continue to cut the capital budget. And we now have to start looking at some of the recurrent expenditures. Unfortunately, the need to maintain macroeconomic stability is complicating the management process, and interest rates have to be, monetary policies being used initially to stabilize the economy. And so by raising interest rates, we are increasing the interest charges to the budget. So you're going to be having less resources to spend on capital or recurrent expenditure. 2 days, yesterday or the day before, the central bank pushed up short-term interest rates to 24%. Now this is going to have a dramatic effect on the interest costs to the government next year. So even while we're trying to shore up the macroeconomy at this point in time, we are limiting the room or the degrees of freedom for the budget for next year. So the crisis itself is having an impact going forward, even while we address some of the most important things right now. The fiscal space for maneuver in 2009-2010 is going to be difficult, it's limited, and therefore prioritization is going to become critical. Force choices, and that's very difficult in Jamaica, given where we are, where there's so many problems. Everything is a problem. Roads, water, sewage, transportation, education, health, everything seems to be a priority. And it calls, therefore, for tough decisions, and they're not easily made because strong lobbying from all sectors, all the interest groups, and that's what we're facing. But in this coming period, where the resources are very scarce, it's going to call for serious choices to be made, and excluding some groups, even temporarily. Vision 2030, our National Development Plan, as I said, was promulgated. The MTF was also promulgated, and the medium-term framework is a document which seeks to take the first 3 years of the plan and pick out the priority projects and programs to be implemented, so that in any short, medium-term period, the long-term plan is being implemented in a consistent way by ensuring that the medium term is consistent with the long-term vision as outlined in the plan. Some elements of the MTF are costed. Some are not yet. It's a work in progress. And we are expecting the usual support from our bilateral and multilateral partners in developing this work. A lot of work was put in by our partners in developing the document. And since you're now responsible for its birth, you have a responsibility for helping to see it grow up and bear fruit. So we are depending on our partners to assist us. At this juncture, the first area that we would like to point to is the need for resources or resource persons who have practical experiences in various countries in designing and implementing monitoring and evaluation systems. We need this badly. So I'm making this plea, and I was reminded repeatedly that if I sat down without making this plea, I would not be allowed to go back to Kingston. Of course, the purpose, as you all know, is to provide technical support for the implementation of this plan. I'm told to ask for other things, but if I didn't have enough time, this is a priority, so let me get it in. We have had the commitment of the IDB at a seminar hosted with the CDB in June to assist us to dealing with some of the shocks from the food price increases and to bolster the PASS program. We have the ability to target through the PASS program the most vulnerable. And this is recognized. We would also like to share this, with other countries who may so need it. But it is an important mechanism, and we want support to continue this work. Additional resources are going to be needed, even as we speak, given the crisis, to support the most vulnerable. And I know there are commitments from other institutions to help the government to do this.